Get ready for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is all about YouABQ.
Middle camera. Hi, welcome to YouABQ, where we interview the guests and local entrepreneurs that you want to learn about. We do invite you guys to hit up the email address. I'm Grant Harvey, a local home loan expert at Vision Mortgage. I am without my anchor and actually the guy that I really lean on for the intro, Skip Adams. I will be doing the show by myself. He currently sounds like Donald Duck, so I said, do not embarrass me, stay home. That's what happens when you have kids. Lesson learned. So I will interview myself. Grant, what did you do this weekend? Well, I went down to Cabo and I officiated another wedding in which I married a longtime good friends, Robert and Brisa, that I met in my Hollywood days. So there I am with the groom. That's Robert. In 2017, I told him, because him and his girlfriend at the time were such a tight, knit group, that I knew they were going to get married. So I promised that I would officiate their wedding. Look at that background. That's not fake. That's what happens when you're rich. Just kidding. I had to make the flight. So, I had promised Robert and Brisa that I would make the wedding. And then when they found out I was the officiant, I made it official. And I hope Brisa's watching, but she actually did not give me any information. So I did this wedding, like a shotgun wedding. I did it probably 2 hours before. So there they are, cute couple. I swore I would never do another wedding, but I did make this promise so long ago. After my brother's wedding, because I barely like my brother, I decided that I would never do another wedding again. Just kidding, Mouse. But that's where that lies. So, happy to marry those two. If you guys want to email, I'm for sale, probably negotiable, $1,000. Just kidding. I don't want to do another wedding again. It's too much pressure. I actually laid awake for 5 hours that night because I was so nervous about it, because I want to do a good job. But they got married, and one of the cool highlights about their wedding is they had a wedding singer excerpt where Billy Idol was singing in the plane. And I found out I'm a fantastic singer. So waiting for my next record deal. Don't want to brag, but if you never see me again, I'll be at the Grammys. So I think this brings about my next part. I do want to talk about my next guest. What's your names, though? They're kids in the background. They remind me of my college players. What's your names?
Titus and Scott.
Titus, which is a made-up name. And then Scott. Titus is like a Marvel movie. No one's actually named that. So whenever he actually wants to stop lying to us and tell his real name, we'll be on board. And I want to see your birth certificate, too, because I can't stand the lying that's been going on. I think we'll get into Grant's rants. Yeah. I want to talk about today's youth and you. So I was talking to my future guests, and I think a lot of people give kids a hard time. They get accused of staying in their parents' house for way too long. Let's talk about this. Why wouldn't you? Let's talk about how the Subway sandwich place closed near my house for not enough labor. Do you want to make sandwiches? I feel like he lives near my house because he felt that pain. But no one wants to do these jobs. So remember all the remedial things that you went, I would never do that. That's how these kids feel. In America, we have what's called competitive advantage, and our competitive advantage is not labor. It's tech and entertainment. Sadly enough, that's what we're limited to. but the kids don't want to do that. And if you can remember and gather back your sentiment about flipping burgers, you didn't want to do it either. So sadly, we're facing a labor shortage, and these spoiled kids that are staying at home, you were that kid too. Maybe you weren't afforded that choice, but these kids have specialized labor, and I'm going to defend them. Like, they don't need to partake in the system we created. They don't want to do fast food, and maybe nor should they. So I don't want to get too far off track, but maybe this border crossing and the labor that we are trying to kick out, maybe it does have its place. Okay, I am a Democrat. I will end this segment here, but I'm not a millennial. For any of you who have it wrong, I'm a Gen Y, which is 1978 through 80. I'm not a millennial, and I'm not Gen X, but I do feel like I'm the liaison between the two generations, and I can kind of see why the younger generation doesn't want to partake in the system we created. So get off their backs, and you can't make them work, and maybe nor should they. Because they are for hire, but you have to pay them a little bit more than you're used to. That's Grant's Rants. There's a pen in my eye. This has a real FM radio feel to it. I think I may be out of material. I'm not used to not having Skip. As much as I think he's not much use to the show, I think he might be. So I'm not going to take this act on the road. I think I do need the guy. Skip. R.I.P. He has laryngitis, and he's probably going to die. Not really. All right, let's go to segment 2. Thank you for watching YouABQ. Welcome back, segment 2 of YouABQ. I welcome my two guests that are e-gamers. I call them nerds, but I'm a nerd too, so it's within affection and affinity that I introduce my two guests here. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the cameras.
Hey guys, I'm Titus Nichols.
And I'm Scott Robertson.
All right, and I also want to talk about what a liar Titus is, because that's not his real name. And I gave him a chance to come clean, and his name is actually not Titus. Give me your government name, Titus.
So my government name, full name is Matthew Titus Nichols.
And your social security and your childhood best friend. Just kidding. And your PIN number. But I do welcome them, and my brother was supposed to join the show, as that's how I became privy to these two gentlemen. I learned a lot about esports and e-gaming through my brother, and I was always a video game kid, and I had a hiatus from video games because there were too many buttons. But I was really good at video games, if my brother can, give a testimonial. But I do think that it is the new way, and a lot of times that it's the hobby that I think is like a really harmless indulgence, right? So you guys can tell me right away, what's the dollar amount in entertainment for gaming now? It's in the billions.
It has to be in the billions for sure.
I think the last time I checked is somewhere around 2 to 3 billion.
2 to 3
billion.
billion.
It was higher than that.
I feel like it is too, because I think so. Let me give you a background about gaming and such. So I actually became privy to Rocket League. So if you guys don't know what Rocket League is, it's driving a car and kicking a soccer ball into a goal. Sound crazy? I thought so too, but this has been kind of a new phenomenon. Would you say it's one of the top 3 in games that have carried on for tournament base and world popularity?
I would say it's up there. I would say probably top 5.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say top
What's the
3,
ranking?
So I think number 1 has to be League of Legends.
Yeah, so if we're going based off of just dollar amount in esports, number 1 is Dota 2. Those tournaments are $50 million each. Then like League of Legends, like Fortnite.
What's number 1 though? What'd you say?
Dota 2.
I would probably have to say either League of Legends or Dota 2.
Yeah.
What has the most following per players? Forget money.
League of Legends by far, I would probably have to say.
Yeah, or Fortnite. Probably Fortnite.
Do you think Fortnite's kind of dropping, right? In
I
popularity?
agree, yes.
It probably is.
Compared to its peak, but also...
Well, yeah, because they had nowhere to go but down, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what I was just about to say. Their peak was so high.
What's League of Legends? For the guy that I try to be the liaison between These kids call me boomers, even though I'm not a boomer, and I'm going to fight them on segment 3. But the League of Legends, describe the game.
Geez, this is hard. Okay, so League of Legends is a 5v5 strategic game. Geez, this is a really bad image for me. I actually don't know a lot about League of Legends.
Can't be that popular.
There's lots. It's super complicated. I'll say that. There's lots of different characters, and each character has a skill set, and there's different roles within.
I think he's saying it's too complicated because he's talking to me, and he's like, "Listen,
no,
old guy, I can't possibly describe it because it would blow your mind." No, I'm just kidding. But okay, so to keep going down the list, I think a lot of so for me being a hockey coach, I'm privy and saw Fortnite. I saw my players staying up till 3 and saw some of them had bad games because they wouldn't go to bed and they want to kill them. But, I do know some of the young guy indulgences. What else? Fortnite, is Rocket League in the top 5?
I would say Rocket League's in the top 5. There's a new game that kind of exploded called Valorant. It's a 5v5 tactical shooter. This one's really easy to explain. 2 sides, attackers and defenders.
Maybe I'll get it.
Attackers tried to plant a bomb, basically, and the defenders tried to defuse the bomb. Yeah. Attackers want the bomb to explode.
So how does this catch wind with marketers or money, right? Because here's where I'll go with this. I know that Shaq has got into the video game world. And I went to Rocket League. I went to the Nerdery Dallas gathering, and I was fine with it. I don't care. I'm a nerd. But there's a lot of big names that have recognized that gaming is a moving enterprise, and people want in. Who else would surprise maybe the viewers about their vested interest in money?
So there's a couple, I saw this recently, a couple really big soccer players that invested into esports organizations. Okay. Lionel Messi.
Messi's huge.
Just invested in, I forgot what organization, but he co-owns or is an investor in an organization, and his teammate on Argentina, Sergio Aguero, is a co-owner of Crew Esports. They're a South American organization. Yeah. Both of them are South American organizations. There's a lot of people that are, a lot of big names that are, very familiar with esports. I know a lot of rappers are. I couldn't tell you.
Besides me?
Besides you. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head because I'm not very familiar.
Me and 2 Chainz have a couple esports teams, but who else?
I cannot remember off the top of my head. Jeez, this is not what I was prepared for.
I try not to stump my guest, that's okay. What I find to be really amazing is, so the older generation always goes, that's so dumb that these kids can make so much money. But there's a following, and you don't make that much money unless people are kind of adhering to a trend or a generation. Yeah. I do remember when I went to the Rocket League, there was this guy named Moist. And he was a villain. It reminded me of WWF wrestling or there were guys that were villains and still had a following. And it fascinates me because I'm a pop culture guy. I want to know what the masses are up to and such. And I think it's so crazy and funny that this guy would make people go, boo! Because obviously people know who he is. What do you guys think your future is in gaming?
There's so many different places where you could go in gaming, and that even can tie into what people consider regular jobs. Mm-hmm. For these big organizations, they have to have people that manage money, manage the players, manage content, doing all that stuff. Right, and then on top of that, there's also tournament organizers,
sponsorships.
Yes, and also like Scott just said, sponsorships.
What do you think companies. You guys will do? What are your aspirations?
For me, I don't even know what I want to do.
He's already counting his millions. For me, between 3 and 5 million. I don't know. Get a yacht, and then
I think I would want to go somewhere in the content creation space. Okay. Even if that's not being a actual creator, but being like a social media manager, videographer for big esports organizations, I think that's kind of where I want to go.
Okay. What about you?
So I've been doing graphic design for nearly 5 years now.
Okay.
I know I've done a lot of graphic design work with your brother. I forget when this was. It was like the World Esports Day tournament he did, and I did a lot of graphics for that. But if graphic design probably doesn't follow, I would probably have to say in the management, because we both manage the New Mexico Esports Championship Series.
What's that?
Which...
So this up here.
Besides Gross La Cueva High School, just kidding. A lot of my teammates played there. It's fine.
Yeah, no.
But like, tell me about this.
So
I'm still listening to your story. Like, so it seems like you guys have a lot of choices. And so, like, as much as I like to give my brother a hard time, I do think he was a pioneer in the forefront with his digital literacy PhD. I think it's fascinating because I learned about a whole new world about you guys and about him, and I was completely surprised about how much money and interest there was in that. So I think it's fascinating that you guys are going to pave your own way and make money differently than we've ever seen. I'm actually fascinated and love the fact that there's a market for this. People sometimes resist change. This is great. Why not? Why not have some entrepreneurs? And I think you guys are authentic. You're game players. You know the scene. I think it's awesome that you guys have a place to not even partake in your hobby, but like be passionate and be professionals, because who else is the first and foremost expert in gaming? That's great that you guys have a place, and I think your peers and pundits will see that. You know what I mean? Like, who better to authenticate how your proficiencies in that the fact of other game players, and they go, yeah, this guy's legit. And that's a great compliment, to be like, that guy's legit. Here's what I didn't want to mess up on. I know you guys eat Doritos and just drink Red Bull, so I gave you guys this.
Oh, I don't know.
Thank you.
If you run off the stage, I'll catch you, but I do know that's what gamers drink, and their parents actually have to treat their kids for epilepsy because they freak out when they watch too much TV.
This is pretty good. I've actually never had this.
I've actually never had it.
Well, when you're rich, you can afford to give your guys that kind of stuff. I do want to tell a funny story. So one of my dear players, who's one of my favorite kids that I've ever had on the Lobos, his name is Jared, and Jared Runke. He's been on here before. Minnesota prodigy, could have played state soccer. He played a lot of Call of Duty, and one of my favorite things I learned about him, he goes, yeah, man, one time my mom had to get me off the floor because I started to have seizures. And he's like, well, I was playing Call of Duty for 3 days. And I go, this blows my mind. Did your mom take away this stuff? Because I do think moms ought to take away some things. Yeah. No, she woke me up, said I had to go to bed for 24 hours. And I'm like, you have a known condition that you're a little moron and you can't get off the game set, and you were having epileptic seizures. So I thought that was funny. I think I would love to have him on the show with you guys to defend his position. No, don't. He's a great gamer. Let me tell you something about, I think I respect gaming so much that I know that I suck. Most gamers won't say that. Every gamer says they're so good, and I'm like, well, I see the 2 and 10 kills. Obviously someone's not winning. That's me. So guys, tell me this: what game did you grow up with that, like, you were addicted to?
For me, it was for sure Minecraft and FIFA.
I don't get Minecraft. It seems so dumb. You're just like going and digging up stuff. Okay, sorry. I know, but a lot of people like Minecraft. I get it. There's a following. I just never understood it. It reminded me of Zelda of like my time.
For me, like Minecraft, since Minecraft came out when I was 3 years old.
You better not tell a story about how it's your grandpa's last wish and then he died.
No. I think
Don't feel bad.
it came out when I was so young, so it was super easy for me to like, since I could do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's kind of what like led me to play Minecraft.
Okay.
And now I play it still because it's nostalgic and reminds
I like
me.
that's what Zelda was. That's what Zelda was for a lot of people. Back when I was a kid, I would say the parallel or comparative game was Zelda. Was it simple? Was it whatever? Yeah, but it was like everything people could partake in, and it does have nostalgia, just like Final Fantasy does for me. Although, ladies, sorry, I am a nerd. Sorry to ruin it for you. But Final Fantasy has that like simplicity, but I think everyone can tap in. And I don't know if you guys have played Final Fantasy.
I haven't.
Yeah, you're probably like, that's for babies, Grant.
I don't think I think I might have, but I don't think I have.
Yeah, it's got reduced to, I may have seen it before.
Like
I am
2013
familiar with that work. So what game do you find to be the most engaging and challenging that becomes like evolving to where it keeps you on your toes?
Oh, Rocket League.
Rocket League.
Like no bias, like for sure Rocket League.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm watching moves on there, even as a guy that sucks, where I'm like, dude, are people just doing 360 barrel rotations, bumping it to another guy on the roof that's headed down? Like, I know most people, this is where I lose all my viewers, because the guy that sucks at Rocket League is like now like, oh my God. But like some of the complexity on these games, you guys, is like insane. And I joke around about all these buttons, but like Call of Duty was probably my first introduction to so many things going on at once, like turning the player, where he's aiming, like ducking and changing stuff, like changing weapons, like this. This has a lot to go on. Do you want to talk about your logo and about how I can't understand it to this day?
So, I'm at the designer.
Right, get a load of this, guys. Watch this. You want something that's really easy to see? Don't look at this thing. If you cover up one eye, and if you're a pirate, then you're suffering from scurvy, cover up the... Okay.
So, actually, for our spring event, we made these little keychains that we were
self-explanatory.
Just to like give out something for fun. And the reason why I created the logo as it is because I wanted something that you couldn't miss, and that you could probably
couldn't understand.
If it's a side effect, it's a side effect. So
side effect.
But
do describe it. I know I'm giving you a hard time. Do describe it.
So my thought process behind it, because I wanted something that was connected to the state, because the full name of it is the New Mexico Esports Championship Series, which our mission always has been is to unite the states with esports. And so I didn't want to use the Zia because I felt like that was overused. And so the reason why, so this is it. Might be a bit hard to see, but my thought process was that if you cover up, I created this at like 10 p.m., so I don't know what I was doing.
He was on massive Red Bulls. He has a Red Bull addiction, so this might explain it.
This is actually my first time having a Red Bull.
Why are you burning my story? Okay, it's his first one. Wink, wink.
So it was, if you cover up like this half, it's supposed to be the letter N. But it might be a bit hard to see, and then if you cover up...
No, we got it now.
There it is, yeah. So if you cover up this side, it's, again, a little bit hard to see. It looks like the letter N. And then if I cover up, say, this side, it kind of looks like a little bit like the letter M.
Yes. I like the creativity.
New Mexico, yeah. And it
Has
works.
anyone ever like saw it like face value and were like, "Hey, I saw what you did"?
Yeah.
I think we've had a couple.
You idiot guy, a host, but other people that have a brain, they saw it right away.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
It took me a while, and I'm a co-founder, so.
Well, he also tells lies about what his name is, so I don't know what to believe. My name is Titus. Just kidding. I am actually The Rock. Oh, actually, just kidding. I'm a WWF wrestler.
He just doesn't exist. So you're just looking at a hologram.
Yeah.
Dude, when you introduce yourself to other people, what do you say your name is besides lying to me? What do you? What do you tell people your name is?
I tell people my name is Titus. Okay. That's what I go by.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to tell people my name is Gravedigger, like the monster truck, and then see how many people go with that.
I used to watch monster trucks all the time. Monster Jam was my thing.
This kid is so agreeable. He's like, my name is Gravedigger too when I was in preschool, and then I changed it to Titus. What is one thing that you guys want to clear up about your generation or gaming, right? Because I defend you guys heavily.
Yeah. So I would probably have to say that it's not of course there are going to be some bad patches of gaming. It's with everything else. There are going to be bad patches of, like say grocery shopping, bad patches of like traveling. So maybe you get in an accident. But there are also some like really good parts of it as well. Like example, going back to traveling, you could say like it's about the adventure that you're going on, maybe visit some national parks even, and it's kind of like this with gaming. Just there are some parts like at the professional level, you get say like you can win like a bunch of cash money, you get to make a name for yourself, and then eventually what I'm actually seeing coming around is that players are getting like almost kind of their own deals. I don't know if this is correct.
No, just say it anyways. This show is a bunch of lies anyway. So
I think it was it NRG that they signed a deal with Panda Express.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys necessarily have a bad name in gaming. Like, I don't think there's anyone that has like there's something you need to clear up. But I do think there's a perception gap about gaming, and you know what you guys are doing, what people think you're doing, and maybe being like couch potatoes and such. I'll tell you one thing: as much as I look like a jock, I really wish I went back into gaming because I always had a great time and I met some really cool people. And I compare it to when I joined a fraternity. People have fraternities have a bad rap, but I met some people that I would have normally never come across when I was in the fraternity. And the gaming, the same thing. Like, you know, a lot of people look at me, they're like, oh, like, you know, that jock or whatever. I'm kind of a nerd. Like, I love to meet other people that are, you know, intellectuals and have a fascination with a common hobby, which is whatever game platform you guys are playing. But I do think that, well, let's talk about this, because the guy in me also wants to know. How many chicks do you meet on these gaming? Is there like a girl where you're like, damn, like Jubilee 731 is the one to like hang out with? Like, there has to be that. Don't even lie. Every once in a while, you know, there's a little unicorn that's just gaming it up, and you guys over compliment her in the lobby, and you're like, oh, you played the best game ever.
I'll say that I've played games with girls that I haven't met before.
Yeah.
And
now you have an apartment together.
No. But for me, I kind of... Hold on.
You broke too many hearts. You can
No,
I can see he's tearing up.
No.
You know how many girls I had to say,
No.
I can't move to Iowa for you, baby.
So the thing is, for me, it's like harder for me to make friends online because I don't usually like talk to that many people like online.
Is it because of your like intensity?
No, it's probably because
you think
people
you're better than
mistake
them? That's
my
okay.
Yeah.
I have the same problem.
I think sometimes people mistake me having fun for me being just like a little bit insane. So,
but let's touch on that. Let's touch on that. I think everyone in my high school or college too, was so surprised when I would like used to like school them on grades because they're like, "What? It doesn't make sense. You like joke around all the time." I go, "Well, they're not mutually exclusive. Like I can't." So that do you think that happens when you're, you know?
Yeah, because also, you know, I am pretty busy with school. I do a lot of extracurriculars.
What do you do?
So I'm in 2 choirs. So I sing quite
a
bit.
All right. Could you do a little number for us?
No.
Come on, dude. I gave you a Red Bull.
No.
You owe me so much.
No, I can't.
What? Come on, do a little like, like an easy one.
If you want to, okay, I'll say if you want to hear me sing, you guys can go to my YouTube channel.
Oh my God! Now he's trying to do a second show spin-off. If you guys want to see my show, I'm actually on Channel 27. Can I share some with you? I just did a wedding, and part of it. You ever seen The Wedding Singer, the movie?
I have not.
Typical kids. There was a part where I started reading one of the excerpts, and it was a song, and then I belted it out, and I thought I was going to get a record deal right there and then. No one ever gave it to me. But you have to do one little number, you know? Come on, dude.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. Maybe
you don't
I was gonna say maybe we could pull it up, maybe, but I don't sing like for people. That's not, I mean, I know that's literally what choir is.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You just finished saying, I don't really sing for people, but I do sing for people.
But outside of choir, I actually don't.
Like, what are you?
I'm a baritone.
Okay.
So it's in between.
I'll have to take your word for it because you don't want to share it with us.
I mean, you've already lied about your name.
Yeah, I do choir. I also, I was in chess club and sports broadcasting.
That makes sense. Oh, my brother may have shown me some of your work. Like, I think he did. What about you? What's your side stuff?
Mostly just graphic design stuff. I've been doing graphic design for so long. I've mostly just been challenging myself on that. I know there's like the weekly projects. I know this week, it's just like stuff to make you make sure that you get better. I think this week is you have to do something with textures, which I've already experimented with textures a lot, and so I would probably have to say outside of esports, I'd probably have to go with like graphic design. But
can you describe texture for like people? Like for me, I'm trying to imagine what it is. I'm not even trying to act inept. Like I'm trying to figure out like texture in graphic design.
Yeah. So what it basically is if you want to, I remember there was one graphic, I forget where it was, but it was like a spray paint on like a brick wall, and it had like this kind of paper. So it kind of looked like you were holding up a piece of paper. Yeah. And everything was just like put on it.
What year are you in school?
I just finished my freshman year at New Mexico State. He is going to NMSU.
You're not even whatever?
Yeah, I just finished high school.
These kids are pissing me off.
Yeah, I graduate in 5 days.
Okay, we know, and you won't sing a song for us, so enough of that.
I mean,
if you want to see his show, though, or visit his YouTube, or go to his OnlyFans, thank you guys for coming on. I wish my brother was here, mostly so I could roast him also, but I appreciate you coming on, and I think we kind of bridge the gap. And maybe my effort is to really, I hate being amongst the generation that's like, oh, these guys are such slackers or whatever. I think you guys have a lot of value. And I think sometimes people are scared of change, but you guys are embracing it. And really, whether we like it or not, like this is what's going to happen. You're not going to sing songs for us in the future. And he's going to do textures. So whether you like it or not. But no, thanks for coming on.
And thank you for having us.
You guys are impressive fellows. I appreciate that. We'll go to segment 3 where I don't have a plan because usually Skip does this. We'll do Skip's tips, which will talk about saving marriages or whatever. Welcome back, segment 3. I'm going to spare you from Skip's tips. I'm going to give you something better. I'm going to give you a little bit of jokes. So one of my bosses said, hey, I want you to do a presentation, and I want you to start the first slide off with a joke. So my first slide was my pay stub. So I want to talk about Skip and maybe vent a little bit. Skip can't be here because he got laryngitis and other things that end in itis, which is the inflammation of. That's a little bit of Latin for you. But what I want to know, Skip, is that you only know your 2 daughters for like a couple years. What happened to us? Your daughters can't even really say words. They haven't wrote you a thank you card, and all of a sudden I get shafted. So here you are at home. I'm not very happy about this. That's another Grant Trans, but you need to check your loyalty. I don't think Birdie and what's your other daughter's name? This is going to get me in trouble. Doesn't matter. Would they stick up for you? Would they fight for you in a club? No, like I did, but automatically I get ousted. Have fun with your 2 daughters, but good luck when you get in a fist fight at a club next, Skip. Have a good time, YouABQ.
You're watching YouABQ.